Hi guys, sorry to interrupt your video. Just a quick plea, subscribe to my channel please. If you haven't done it already, subscribe. Tell your friends, subscribe. Thanks. Theory Test Pro again, this time on a vehicle motorcycle handling topic. Okay, so let's crack on with this. What's the reason for traffic calming measures? Okay, so to stop road rage, to make overtaking easier, to slow traffic down, that's the one. Traffic calming basically means slow stuff down. So we're talking speed bumps, narrowings, things like that. So traffic calming measures make the road safer for vulnerable road users such as cyclists, pedestrians and children. These can be designed as chicanes, road humps or other obstacles that encourage drivers and riders to slow down. What will happen if you hold the clutch pedal down or roll in neutral for too long? Right, okay. You lose engine braking, so the car will pick up speed. If you're picking up speed, then in theory you would have a reduction in grip and so on and so forth. So basically you're going to reduce your control because you can't accelerate. You lose one of your engine brake, well, you lose engine braking, which is one of your inherent braking or brakes, and we have other bits and bobs. So there, holding the clutch down or staying in neutral for too long will cause your vehicle to freewheel. This is known as coasting, and it's dangerous because it reduces control of your vehicle. It does. The road is wet. Why would a motorcyclist steer around drain covers while they are cornering? Right, simply metal drain covers don't give up the same amount of grip as tarmac does in the wet. So if you're leaning over and you're going around a corner and you suddenly come to a low grip surface, you're going to fall off. So to avoid puncturing the tyres, no. To prevent the motorcyclist sliding on the metal drain covers, yes. To help judge the bend, no. To avoid splashing, nope. There you go. Other drivers or riders may have to change course due to the size or characteristics of their vehicles. Understanding this will help you to anticipate their actions. Motorcyclists and cyclists will be checking the road surface for uneven or slippery surfaces, especially in wet weather. They may need to move across their lane to avoid such surfaces or surface hazards such as potholes or drain covers. Why is it bad technique to coast when driving downhill? Right. There. The vehicle will gain speed more quickly because you have lost engine braking. Coasting is when you allow the vehicle to freewheel in neutral or with the clutch pedal depressed. Remember, this is not the same as slowing to a junction. You're allowed to push the clutch pedal down and stay in gear. You don't have to keep going down gears on the approach to a junction. All you have to do is slow down. What they're saying is you're just pushing the clutch down so that you're not in a gear, not because you're slowing to do a gear change. It's a different scenario. When travelling downhill, this will cause the vehicle to gain speed more quickly as you lose the benefits of engine braking. It may even lead to loss of control. You shouldn't coast, especially when approaching hazards as junctions or bends when you're travelling downhill, because the car will pick up speed. What must you do when you're overtaking a car at night? Let's see what their options are. Flash your headlights before overtaking. Well, you can do to alert them to your presence. That is certainly something that you could do, but let's see if there's a better one. Select a higher gear. No, generally you would select a lower gear because you get better overtaking ability. Switch your headlights to main beam before overtaking. No, because you'll blind the car in front of you. Make sure you don't dazzle other road users. Well, that's just a general good rule, so I'm going to go with that because that's the best over all of those. So to prevent your headlights from dazzling the driver in front, wait until you've passed them before you switch on your main beam. Oh, I'm dazzled. When may you wait in a box junction? I've just done the other question and it's full of this question. Right, so you're only allowed to wait in a box junction or when your exit is clear and you are turning right but can't turn right because of oncoming traffic. Thank you. So when stationary, no. When approaching, no. When approaching, no. When oncoming traffic prevents you from turning right. Yes, but your exit must be clear as well. That's just one part of two. Right, you are. The purpose of a box junction is to keep the junction clear by preventing vehicles from stopping in the path of crossing traffic. You mustn't enter a box junction unless your exit is clear. However, you may enter the box and wait if you want to turn right, and they are only prevented from doing so by oncoming traffic. Yeah. That's what I said. What should you do when dealing with this hazard? Right, Ford. I've made a video about Fords. There's also in the video about road signs, it explains Fords. Ford is where a stream or water goes over the road surface, so you have to drive through a long puddle effectively. So what should you do when dealing with this hazard? Switch on your hazard warning lights? Not really. Use a low gear and drive slowly. Well, that makes sense to stop water coming over the car. Use a high gear to prevent wheel spin. You might stall. Switch on your windscreen wipers. Well, I would drive slowly. That's the key there. Low gear, drive slowly. Lovely. That's what I would do. Nice. So in normal conditions, a Ford can be crossed quite safely by driving through it slowly. There you go. The water may affect your brakes, so when you're clear of the Ford, test them and resume normal driving. Yes, dry them out a bit. You're driving at night. What should you do if dazzled by headlights coming towards you? Right. Pull down your sun visor. Oh yeah, great. And then you crash. Slow down or stop. Nice. If you can't see, don't keep going because you'll hit something. Flash your main beams. Well, I mean, people do that to warn other people that their lights are on full beam. But of course, the car might not be on full beam. It could be that the light is slightly misaligned. So you could still have a light pointing down. So as you can see the top of my hand there. But if it was badly aligned, I've still got the same amount of light on, but now you're in the firing lines. They're coming straight at you. So they might not even have full beams on. So if you start going around flashing your lights at somebody, you might be asking them to turn their lights off, effectively. And here's an interesting nugget for you. When people get above about the age of 60, the amount of water that they have in their eye is decreasing, naturally decreases. And so the speed of the retina iris opens decreases. So if you suddenly shine a bright light into the eyes of an older person, they can actually technically be blinded for about 10 seconds. Interesting. Of course, that's plenty of time to drive into a tree. So we don't really want to be going around firing lights at people because they're going to have problems. Well, I never. And shade your eyes with your hand. Well, I mean, if you still got the key is, you've got to be able to see where you're going. And if you just cannot see, then slow down or stop. If the headlights of an oncoming vehicle dazzle you, slow down or stop if necessary. Don't close your eyes or swerve, as you'll increase your chance of having a collision. Don't flash your headlights either, as this could dazzle other drivers and make the situation worse. What he said. When must you use dipped headlights during the day? So remember, we use dipped headlights to see or be seen. So all the time you're driving, well, you can do. When you're driving along narrow streets, not particularly. When you're driving in poor visibility, yes, that's a good one. When you're parking, yeah, whatever. So yeah, see or be seen. So if it's poor visibility, we want people to be able to see us. So having a nice light on so you don't look like a parked car can help. Or even low sunlight. There might be loads of light around. But of course, if I've got sunlight behind me, anyone driving at me will be blinded by the sun. So I have my headlights on so they can still see the headlights coming through the sun. Ah, I'm blind. Or if you go under dappled light through a bridge or under a tunnel, for instance, then the headlights still mean that people can see you. So poor visibility or weird lighting conditions, that's why we use it. Nice. What must you do when you're overtaking a car at night? Okay, so flash your headlights before overtaking. Yeah, it's an option. Just to alert them to your presence, basically. But I wouldn't naturally do that. Select a higher gear. No. Switch your headlights to main beam before overtaking. No. And make sure you don't dazzle other road users. Yes. Just like we did earlier. Why could it be dangerous to keep the clutch down or in neutral for long periods of time whilst you're driving? Because you'll have less steering and braking control. Not so much the steering, but of course the faster you go, the more easy it is for a car to career out of control. And that's why you see high-speed crashes and stuff. You don't often see a low-speed crash other than clunk, oh, I didn't see the lamppost. But you don't lose control as such, you just hit stuff. So the faster you go, naturally, the less steering control you have, and you're likely to be picking up speed because you've lost engine braking. Engine braking is where you're staying in a gear and your foot is off the accelerator. But if you're not in a gear, because you're in neutral or the clutch is down, then you aren't brake naturally slowing down, so therefore you might be picking up speed. So you'll have less steering and less braking control.